us out. Make sure the stream is good. Alright, we got excellent connection right now.
So get your friends, get your family members to come share the message. We're going to talk about what's going on with the social media platforms now with censorship and how basically trying to race divide the community right now. So share the message. Let's get more people and come also and help with your inputs.
We would love to have you.
Please.
Come on in.
Feel free to ask any questions.
Any questions. Because we're going to be talking about a lot of important things that we feel like most of America should know or if already know. And with this important election going on, it's really going to make or break this country on knowing the truth and who everybody are and why the media plays certain groups against other groups for money. I mean, let's be real. This is all boiled down to money.
Yeah, everything. It is no longer party versus party anymore. The only color that they care about is green, and I'm talking about both sides.
Yeah, it's both sides. It's not just one. It's both. Both of them doing it.
I'm talking about both sides. And
but
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I know we like to jump into a few conversations before we get into our actual like meat and potatoes and stuff. But how do you guys feel about the situation right now? Like, how's everybody feeling about what's going on?
Which situation?
Well, I mean, rioting, looting.
No, we already live because we haven't done the introduction.
Yeah.
We haven't done the introduction.
Well, we
are jumping right into it.
Yeah.
You see, we be doing our thing. We just be going in.
Tony, I like to be wine down to 69. Okay,
all right,
jump in it with me. Okay, please.
All right, so let's start it off right. For one,
thank you all for coming back to All I'm Saying podcast.
Very much appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to know when we upload another one of these videos.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and do our intro, right? Let's go ahead and do that. So here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All I'm Saying podcast. This your boy TJ
and your girl TK,
and I'm your boy Master Teck,
and we are here bringing the info, local and worldwide news.
Mm-hmm.
We're here talking about your race. We're talking about the election and, of course, social media and its censorship.
Social media and censorship.
Yeah, man.
It's getting ugly right now.
It's getting real ugly out there. But today we actually have a guest today.
A special guest today.
A very special guest. Sir, would you please introduce yourself to the audience today?
All right, how's everybody doing?
Hey.
I'm the special guest.
Hey.
Hopefully I won't be special anymore. I'll keep on coming to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But my name is Tamuka, and you can call me Mr. T.
All right, Mr. T.
All right, Mr. T.
Welcome, Mr. T, to the crew. We're gonna be we're gonna be talking about a lot of open things. We're gonna be trying to unwind and unwrap a lot of mixed confusions and stuff that's just being what you call it, Teck? What you call it? You said it's some powerful wizardry.
Powerful wizardry going on out here is what I said, and it is.
It is some crazy, powerful wizardry going on, and we're just here to open that door and show that you shouldn't be.
We just want people to make sure they keep an open mind when it comes to subjects and situations, because a lot of people get manipulated, or they let certain things or people tell them how to think or what they should purchase and things like that. So
And it
we
shouldn't
just
be that way.
we just want people to have an open mind and just understand that you are in control of your life, because it is your life.
It is your destiny. It is your life. You are in control of it. But if you live by a label or accept yourself to a certain label, then you will only end up with that. With whatever you subscribe yourself to.
That
and
is
they
correct.
will drag you everywhere they want you to go.
That is correct.
Yeah. You'll never be ahead. You'll always be behind.
So I guess before we get started, we have a special guest, like we were saying.
Yep.
But if you want to go and just tell the people a little bit of something about yourself, just who you are, a little bit about your business, any business ventures, just let the people know who you are.
Okay. Like I say, my name is Tamuka. Born and raised in Zimbabwe, but grew up in Savannah. Been in Savannah for almost 20 years. So I would say Savannah is home for me. Went to school at Savannah State, transferred to Fisk University. Background is in political science, but not doing anything in the political science field right now.
Bro, it's the perfect time. It is the perfect time.
It is, it's brutal right now.
Right, right.
But ended up shifting, doing culinary school. So,
oh, you went to culinary, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, you're looking at one too.
Oh, okay. So hopefully next time we'll have some food.
Yeah, we put a spread out. You know?
Definitely.
Show y'all some taste of the South. How about that?
Some competition.
Some competition. That's right. Competition.
Oh man.
So now, one thing we're really glad to have you. As far as today, I guess today, but one thing that we were talking about is about race. So, and you said a second ago that you said you were born and raised in Zimbabwe and then you moved to the United States. So, I think that's a very interesting point that you made right there. And I think we need to stop and talk about that for a second, because out of everyone sitting in this room, there's 4 individuals in this room. But I think there's only one true African American in this room.
To be fair, he has a point.
To be, the problem is that it's a lot of identity politics going on. Okay.
Yes, there's a lot of identity politics.
There's an old saying that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right?
Yep. That goes both ways.
And it goes both ways, but people try to use skin color to identify themselves in certain ways and all that stuff, but that's not really the case. When we talk about legal status in the United States, when we talk about black or calling yourselves white or whatever you call yourself, you need to understand that when you call yourself black or white, those, in my personal opinion, those are colors in a Crayola box.
Shades.
And those are shades. Those are different hues. And here's why I say it, because I don't think people understand what they're doing. People don't understand certain things until you put it in their face sometimes. So I'm going to just go and say it like this, right? So, you know, we have TJ and we have TK in the house tonight, right? So if TJ and TK had a child, right, no matter the sex, 10, that's 1 and a 0 behind it, the United States would classify that child as either African American or a black child.
Yep.
Okay?
Which is interesting because, I mean, wouldn't that child be an American?
Whoa! You're going too fast now. Slow down now.
Do your thing.
Slow down.
My bad.
So now let's take it to another side. Let's take some lighter hue people, right? Let's take a so-called white man and a so-called white woman, right? And they have a child. You're gonna call, that child white, right? Which is no nationality. It has no place of origin. But yet, if you take 2 people from, I don't know, somewhere in Eurasia, somewhere in maybe Japan or maybe China area, or I don't care whatever country you name, right? If those 2 people got together and had a child, you wouldn't call that child tan.
Exactly.
You call them a nationality. You'd say that child is Japanese, that child is Filipino, that child is from wherever, right? Well, why they baby got to be black? And why these other children got to be white? It doesn't make any type of sense. Everybody has a nationality, a place of origin. And that's something that we forget to mention. But when we play identity politics, it's easy because we look at skin color. But it's deeper than skin color.
Yes.
It's a lot deeper than skin color, because you got to think the only thing that they're banking off of is your ignorance of who you are.
All I'm saying is, if you're not gonna call anybody else tan, don't call my term black. That's all I'm saying. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're not wrong.
Tan or even beige. We can say beige, right?
Yeah, definitely call it beige.
But no. Black, no. Not at all. It's a legal status.
It should just be, take for example, Africa. You don't refer as black South African. You don't refer as a Nigerian.
Exactly.
Like Zimbabwean.
Exactly.
You refer to them as Zimbabwean. And Nigerian as South African. So why do we have to put black
ahead of any of it?
anything?
Now, what you just said, you stated that a place of origin. A place of origin. Black has no place of origin. Where did black come from? Find me a place just called just black. Well, people just came from. And if you go on that extreme, let's talk about white too. Because what is white? It's nothing. You just don't have a place called white where lighter hue folks are just bred.
Even in Europe, you don't get white Europeans.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Where did this whole thing of
let's have the
it's
conversation.
just white and it's just black? It's like I don't think that's how that works. I've
See,
been
but
to plenty of countries and they look very peppered and blended.
when you operate like that in colors, you take away like place of origin. You take away like birthrights or like nationality, which is very important.
Yeah.
But when you just identify yourselves as colors, you can be anything.
This is why Trump mentions America first.
Right.
Because it should be, if you're American, you which all of us are, that should be the focus. America, America first.
Right.
But a lot of people want to use the whole, well, history this, history that, and it's just like you're claiming a very small fraction of our history. Whereas if you look over the span of the entire history, there's a lot more positive than there is negatives in that history. So if you want to throw mud at that one spot on the wall, but the rest of it is like immaculate, that's on you. That's your choice. But we shouldn't be stuck in that mindset of thinking that's what we need to do. That's we need to keep that on the chopping block. And it's like me personally, I don't follow that. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's a great thing to go by. I think when you're born, when you come into this world, you're not born racist. You're not born with hatred. You're not born with a feel of negativity against another group of people.
Right. That's learned behavior.
That's learned behavior. Because I can name several times where you can take kids from any walks of life, group them together, and they'd be like brothers and sisters.
That's right. Love is love.
Basically, honestly, I think Americans need a little bit more exposure outside of the United States.
Yes.
In order for them to understand that it is not, you're not really called white or black when you go out there. They know you as American. So, and plus also, if you do hear the term black and white out there, they're not talking about what you look like.
They're talking about
your status.
Legal status. Legal status. Not skin color.
Either you have it or you don't.
Yes.
That's what they're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
People get that confused by thinking that, oh wait, I guess because I'm dark skinned then I must be black. Really, if you look at your skin, are you black?
Nope.
Are you black? Like, let's be real.
Not at all.
So some people may say they may not really understand what status is.
Yeah, that's
Can you
true.
guys go into depth, like what is status?
As far as when we're talking about status, we're talking about as far as economic status. As far as, if you have the money, if you don't, where your family comes from. If there's arranged marriages just to keep the money in the family. Or, unfortunately in some circumstances, if you have a poor family, they unfortunately have to sell their daughters or their sons, it don't matter, basically into a richer, more prosperous family in order for their family to make it.
Right.
But that's what we're talking about as far as status.
It's basically like the rich and poor status. You either have it or not. But the problem is a lot of people don't understand what that means. Because I try to break it down as easy as possible. I say when it comes to a business-minded company or a country, think of it like this. You got two types of workers. You got your white collar and you got your blue collar. You understand what I'm saying now? So if you put that into focus, if you are a white collar, you executive, CEO, all that great stuff. You get the big money, right? If you're a blue collar, you 9 to 5, working every day, but you enjoy it. That's what you like. Those are statuses, and you can switch at any time to go from one to the other. But the thing is, when you tie it to a skin, now you limit it. Now you don't have that mindset of thinking I can become a white collar. No. No, I'm black. I can't achieve that. Well, that's what society calls me. I'm black. What? Since when did you listen to what society tells you who you are?
Right. Let's just be real about something. When was society right?
Yeah, that's a bigger question. That is a big
Because if I remember correctly, society is also the same society that puts labels on you.
Yes.
That you have to wear. Yeah. Like people will just already put you in a category before even having a conversation with you.
That's correct.
And I'm just like, wait a minute. Let us at least talk first before you put me in somewhere.
Exactly.
But can you say we're a society though? Because right now we're divided.
That is true.
It is.
When you in this type of chaotic society, you look around. You got BLM, you got LGBTQ, you got all these little alphabet boys is what I call them, and they're trying to lynch onto something that they have no idea about, and they're making a big fuss about it, where they're trying to rouse up younger kids because these kids don't know about it except for what they've been told by their parents, and their parents don't know because they don't even do their own research. They just tell whatever the TV box tells them. So you got a real messed up mindset society right now who thinks that the TV won't lie to them, and anything that they hear that goes against what they already believe must be false.
It's the devil. It's the devil.
And it's sad. It's very sad because it spreads throughout not just our country and our culture, but it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Like
there's more consumers than actual doers now.
Yeah.
There is more people that wants to be entertainment. They like say that, I want to be a Twitch star. I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be a gamer.
Yes.
I want to be a celebrity. I want to be this. I want to be a basketball player. I want to be that. But I have not really heard as of lately, actually for a very long time, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be, I want to protect my neighborhood. And that's part of the reason why a lot of people do sign up being police officers. And I want to be a firefighter. I want to be an electrician. I want to be a coder. All these different things, all these certain fields that always going to need somebody. But not a lot of people are striving for that. And it's looking very bleak because if everyone's just focused on entertainment, who's gonna keep the electricity on?
Keep the lights on?
Right? Who's gonna keep the water running? Who's gonna feed you?
Who's gonna take that trash on the days you know it's gotta go?
I mean, someone gotta be the trash man.
Somebody. Put it this way: that whole thing about essential workers, I understand what they meant by that, but you gotta understand this. When I prior military. I was in the military. In the military, every job is important, regardless of how low of a job you think it is. Every job, when you're a part of a crew, it takes the whole crew to make the objective go. Like you got it to achieve your mission. You have to have everybody on board moving, because if you got one, limping or slugging down the road, that's going to come back and hurt the whole entire group as a whole. You understand? So that's why when it comes to the military, they try to push everybody together, regardless of who you are, where you're from. It don't matter. We need to get this done, and this is where we need to go. So I think if more people had a mindset of understanding that we're stronger together than we are apart, we can get away from these labels like black and white and Asian and all this other stuff, because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all just want to live and see our kids grow. Like, let's be real. That's all everybody wants to do. They want to be successful, they want to watch their kids grow, and they want to just, be left alone to their own devices. Like, leave government to only handle foreign affairs and leave us to our own affairs. You know what I'm saying? So it's maybe it's a wishful situation I'm looking for, but I'm hopeful for it. You know, I would love to see that in America one day, as far as all Americans, not just darker, lighter, all of them.
But all. Because I think people have to understand, you know, we're a family.
Yeah.
I mean,
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, we can have our disagreements and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we're a family, and we have to come together to do what's right for our country. Because it's not just for us; it's for our kids and their kids and their kids' kids. So I think if people just stop, you know, focus on the individual and think of the whole, I think we'll be further than where we are right now.
Exactly. It'd be a lot further right now. As far as technology goes, we're behind. I'm not gonna lie. We're behind.
Technology is advancing faster than humans are.
Yeah.
When was the last time we actually invented something?
Name something like that.
We haven't.
We haven't, exactly.
We haven't.
The biggest boom thing right now is Bitcoin. That's the biggest boom right now.
And it's already been out for what, like
12 years?
What, 12
years already.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been out for a while now. People are just now catching wave of it, or you know, they see it in the markets or what have you. But this thing's been out for a minute, and to see it now kind of just like get that mainstream feel and everybody getting, you know, comfortable with it, is like, oh man, it's the first actual change that happened, you know, worldwide as far as anything goes, as far as technology goes. Because iPhones, don't get me wrong, they were a clever device back when they first came out. Now, it's a cash game. They just, you know, every year we're gonna put one extra thing in there, put an extra pixel in there, make it look pretty, get you a nice smoother screen, you know, stuff, small detailed things that I don't really see $500, $600 extra on top of the phone that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? So they have that kind of game going, and this is not just one technology. As
It's
far as
all of them.
one technology company, it's all of them. It's a lot of these guys are just like, all right, well, we're gonna be banking off your information. We're gonna be banking off of everything you do, everything you say, everything you put out. Because look at it this way: any video, any creation that you come up with, or any groups come up with, and you show it out, you not getting any money for that. And I know a lot of people talk about monetization and censorship and stuff. They are doing it on purpose. Think of it like this: if you took your story and you went to, I don't know, CNN, and you said, "Hey, I found this story. I researched this. I put this out. I want you guys to put it out there." And you give it to them, and they put it out there. They don't have to give you credit. You do know that, right? They do not have to give you credit unless they edited the original piece.
There's a lot of editing going on that shouldn't be edited.
Exactly.
So more of, if it doesn't fit the agenda,
Yes. If it
doesn't.
doesn't fit the agenda, they cut it. They just, nah, we don't want it.
kind of what's going on in Savannah right now.
Yeah.
Some stuff makes the news, some stuff doesn't.
A lot of stuff don't.
A lot of stuff that goes on in the local community.
Yeah, stuff that's important to the locals don't get mentioned to the locals to let them know that it's going on. Like, how many people know that the crime rate, even though we're going through a pandemic, has fluctuated? Like, what was it? I think the homicide rate went up a little, and rape cases went up.
Like what? Like up to like 14?
Yeah, it went up 14.
Yeah.
Compared to last year. And then what's funny is burglaries went down. But not by that much. One category went down pretty steeply, but I mean, everybody's home. You're not going to rob anybody while they're at the house. So one category went down, but man, looking at it now, it's just like, well, that is a lot of cases. 800 300-something cases is still pretty high for burglary. You know, that was commercial and residential as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of negativity out there. And again, it doesn't get mentioned because, I don't know, maybe they want to, not put it out there. They're kind of like, oh, well, it's not as bad as it is out there. Just kind of don't think about it. But if you don't know it and you fall prey to it, who takes the fault? You or the person who knew and didn't inform anybody?
The person that withheld the information.
Thank you. And this is why this is very important for people to understand that information at this time frame is very, very, very important. Because there are people who are losing their lives and don't even know why. They don't know why they're losing their lives. They're in fear. When you're in constant fear and you don't understand why you're in feir.
You know how much stress that puts on the body?
It puts so
and
much
the
stress
mind?
on the person.
Be a very dangerous person.
You can cause, honestly, enough stress caused on a person's mind can literally cause a tumor to develop, which can kill them.
And cancer.
Which can kill them. This stuff right here, fear itself is the worst virus, disease, whatever you want to call it, that you can ever be infected with. Because you shouldn't live in a life of fear. Honestly, you shouldn't. You got a lot to live. You got a lot to go to explore. And I mean, this world is vast. This is a vast world. It's just waiting on you to discover something. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's going to tell you to go out there and discover something. Nobody's going to tell you to go solve this problem or fix this corruption. You got to want it in your heart to change it. You got to want it in your mindset to want to change for the better.
So can we say that propaganda is basically feeding us information to where we're more of the give me generation than the creative generation with the previous generations before us?
We definitely consume more than any other generation. I will go as far as saying that.
Yes, there's more consuming and less producing, and that's very alarming because there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Because when you have more consumers than producers, you're gonna get eaten alive. Like that country is gonna.
And just chiming in on what you said earlier about Donald Trump about keeping this country great. A lot of money went to industries that were outside of the United States, which is an amazing fact that people need to think about and look at, because you got Americans struggling that need a job, that need a place to work at, that need a place to live at. And we need, since we consume so much, we need these items.
Yeah.
So how hard is it to create that same industry that's over in, I don't know, another country, China, I don't know. How hard is it to create that industry over here? Well, you can't pay somebody 32 cents an hour. You got to actually pay them a wage where they can live off of.
Yeah.
Well, hell, pay them a wage where they can live off of and help other Americans.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Think about it, people. Trump wants you guys to start businesses. Why? Because if you start businesses, you hire people. Why? Because that person can make money, take care of their family, and turn around and start their own business to hire people.
Exactly. And that's how you grow this country.
This is how you grow the country. But people need to understand that mindset to know that it's not limited to just you, and you. No, it's everybody.
But see, everyone wants to rather be an employee than being an employer.
I don't understand that, though.
But it's easier because all I
true.
have to do is consent to certain jobs and tasks, consent to a certain dollar amount, and then boom. Just gotta be here on time.
That's it. You get to keep what is it? If you show up on time, you get to keep your job.
You know?
That's it.
What people are not thinking about is how much you're getting paid is how much your life is worth.
Yep.
So whatever you consent to, that's how much your life is worth. But and we also have to remember that an employee gets a crumb off of the brick. The employer gets the whole entire brick, and he says, "Okay, I'll give you that much.
That one's
okay,
yours.
this one belongs to you. Okay, and that one belongs to you. But we need to be more employers. We need to control the brick."
Let's be real, people. It's not so much the employer's fault for the situations that's going on. It's your own fault.
And it's okay that you don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad.
It is your fault, and it is some of our parents' fault and our grandparents' fault. But it's okay.
It's all right.
We wish we were in a different situation, but it's okay. You just.
But knowing it now, you understand. Hey, I know where I'm at. I know where I want to go.
And this is what I have to do to get there. Besides sitting down and waiting for somebody to give you something, because that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Why? Everyone just wants to wait and win the lottery or wait for someone to bless them with something.
Because they were taught that.
That's what I'm saying. Why no one taught these people to get out there, get off your ass, and create something, make something happen, help another person.
Viewer discretion is advised, just in case.
You should have said that earlier, Trey.
Yeah.
But we should have said that earlier. Sorry. We should have. Parental discretion is advised. And you should let your parents know if you're listening to us. Okay.
Bro, if they're under the age, they shouldn't be following me on Facebook on the first place.
That is true. So you get back and grown. So.
Now, and also, now that we bringing up Facebook, that's a big thing that's going on right now. Anybody see that policy notice?
A lot of people were talking about the policy notice and different changes are coming up, and people are also talking about like not being able to post certain images, and then when you can't post a comment, then you take a screenshot of a comment and try to post that. You can't post that either. So I don't know what you do with that.
So it's Facebook or any of these social media platforms. Are they what they say they are? Because right now, y'all seem like more like editors.
You seem like editors, because I don't see freedom of speech anywhere.
No.
If I say Trump 2020 on Friday, when I go back to that post on Monday, it should still be there.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be, blocked out or
fact checked
or disappear or nothing like that. It should still be there.
Oh, speaking of your fact checks, that's been proven to be a biased situation as well.
That is very true.
Shout out to Anomaly for that. They tried to shut him down with his posts, and apparently he proved to them that they were full of crap. Just to be real. And I thought it was very
poetic.
Yeah, poetic to see that these guys are that determined to change the narrative that they will fall flat on their face.
Their own sword.
On their own sword.
Their own sword.
Just to shut you up.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What world are we living in, people?
It's a fantasy.
It is.
It's a lot going on.
It's not the America that we know.
No, it is not. It is definitely changed for the. Well, I say this for the online. All right, I put it this way. This was a while. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. I wanted to come out with something that would combat the situation that was happening on YouTube, where they had, the censorship happening, the purge, and all these other YouTubers were getting kicked out. And I said, you know what? Why don't we come up with a slogan called "Make the Internet Great Again"? Like, wouldn't that be cool just to have something like that the whole internet can rally around and say, no, we want our freedoms online. We want to be able to access what we want. We want to be able to put what we want.
We want to be able to ask genuine questions and get genuine answers. We don't want to have filtered questions.
Exactly.
Come on.
So when I wanted to mention that, I was like, okay, well, it might be something good, but I don't know if people would respond well to it because of the whole Trump thing. They see "Make America Great" and they'll see "Make Internet Great" and they're like, oh, he's a Trump supporter. It's just like, oh my God. Can we get past that? Can we get past that?
And we won't get past that until we keep addressing identity politics. And that's the first thing we spoke about earlier.
Exactly.
I don't want to sway or move or anything like that, but again, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah.
We have a situation going on with the presidential election right now, right? And there's a lot of backlash on the Democratic, candidate, representative, and the vice president. Okay, let's go ahead and say it: Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So I had a conversation with a family member. I won't say which family member, but I had a conversation with a family member. And I said I'm having a hard time with this young lady because the young lady now was identifying to be African American, but yet when she was in y'all can fact check me on this one, right? When she was in California as like a judge or something like that, right? When she was sworn in, she was sworn in as the first Indian American or something like that.
Yeah.
Indian Jamaican. Indian Jamaican.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, Indian Jamaican, because if you look on a map, Jamaica is very small in the Caribbean. Please don't laugh. Please don't laugh. If you go look at a map, Jamaica is a very small island in the Caribbean. Jamaica is closer.
What's above it?
The Bahamas? Cuba?
Cuba.
Right? So you got Jamaica, you got Cuba, then you got Miami. So what the hell does that have, excuse my language, parental discretion advised, right? What does that have to do with Africa? And then if you go look on a map, a real map, you can see it's not an island that sits alone by itself.
No.
It's somewhat connected to a whole entire continent. So is it an island? Is it a peninsula? I'm not sure what to call it. It's a home for a lot of people. I get it, but people are misidentifying this thing, and now we have this presidential candidate saying and identifying being black or African American when your family is nowhere near that status or that continent.
Wait. Now, here's the thing.
I'm about to say, as
we
far as
can probably call her that because
she is East Indian.
she's East Indian.
That's fine. East Indian.
No, but that's Indian.
Yeah.
That's
true.
East
Not.
Indian.
Yeah.
East
Yeah.
Indian and Jamaican. So we're talking about East India somewhere on Eurasia, and we're talking about Jamaica. We're talking about an island,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the continent or Africa.
I want you to understand they're pandering to those two parts.
But people have to understand because they're playing the game of identity politics with you.
Yeah.
That is identity politics. This person is saying that they're one thing, but they're not that.
They're obviously not. But they do it. They do it because, remember, what did Obama show? What did Black Panther show? Let's be real.
It's sad because
you
people,
link them to identity.
Yes.
You move them like cattle.
Yes. Moving cattle.
It's sad because right now people are just so hooked up on just focusing on what a person looks like, but not based off of their character.
Who they are in the inside.
Or what they do.
And like we spoke about earlier, Temuco is the only true African American inside of in this office right now. Okay?
Correct.
Because people have to understand, if your mother was born in America and you are born in America, guess what?
You're American.
You're American as apple pie, right?
Go get your slice.
But now we're talking to a gentleman, Temuco, who was born. His mother was born on another continent. He was born on that continent. And this gentleman came here in his lifetime.
Yes.
His lifetime.
Yes.
His lifetime.
Yes.
And now is an American citizen.
Yeah.
So now the gentleman is a legitimate African American.
If
But
we're going off
If
the
we're
current.
going,
If you're going that route, but if your mother and if your mama's mama was born here and you was born, bruh, let's just put it like this. If you was born here, you are American. You are not African American. The United States, you self-identify.
Yeah.
And if you self-identify as being black or African American or property, hell, what are these people supposed to do when you're consenting to it?
They're like, all right, I guess.
But you
whatever."
you don't even understand the game that you're playing.
yeah, and unfortunately, other people they know that.
Yeah.
They know and they play off your ignorance.
They use that against you, and I think if
Because they can benefit.
if more Americans become more aware of more about the law and more about the different terms that's actually being thrown around or thrown to them,
And the
then
Articles of Confederacy
right, then
and your constitutional rights.
then they wouldn't be so they wouldn't be just so attached to just colors as far as different terms of that, or just gravitated to the term African American, because let's just be real, that term came out in the 1980s.
Ooh, by who?
Oh, let's not.
Bro, we can drop some gems
Hold on
now. What the name is?
Hold on now.
Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
Jesse Jackson, what, 1988?
1988, he came out with it, and he was 1986.
There you go.
He came out with it because guess what, people? Guess what? Guess what my birth certificate said? And I was born 1986. January 1986. First of the year. Negro. Didn't say anything about African. Didn't say anything about any other continent, country, whatever. It said Negro.
And I think ever since that, after that, that's when they start taking off
They start taking them off.
the nationality on the birth certificate. Now they don't even put that on there.
They don't put it on there at all. They take the race out. You can't put it on there at all.
So if they take the race out from your birth, but when you fill an application,
they still have it there.
Then it still has it there.
But
why?
Here's the gameplay though. Just like Mayor Johnson showed y'all, or I'm gonna call him Mayor PP because that is his title, PP. He showed you that he doesn't have to get the consent of the people. He has to get the consent of businesses. You see? You see what I'm saying? He doesn't have to force you to wear a mask. He just has to make sure that these businesses require you to wear a mask.
Because he knows that you're going to utilize these businesses.
Correct. He knows that they're a necessity for your life or a routine in your life. So how do you interrupt someone's life? You don't make it your agenda to interrupt their life. You make it the business's agenda to interrupt their life.
And it really puts businesses in a tight spot.
It does.
Especially small businesses that just started like maybe a few years ago. And unfortunately, the businesses that's getting affected right now is more so family-oriented businesses that's been around here for a very long time. Or even the ones that just started as recent as a few years ago.
Exactly.
And they're the ones that's feeling it. But if you look at these big companies, I'm not saying that these big companies aren't feeling it, but they have not closed down ever since this whole pandemic began.
Bruh, Walmart still be jumping. Sam's still be jumping. Kroger still be jumping. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I be in all these places with no mask on. And guess what? I walk in there and I walk out with a receipt. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how else to say it. People are scared of going into places because not having a mask.
Just
but
because of that.
I go everywhere without, let me say it again. I go everywhere without a mask. And I be looking for that smoke. Because if you know the Constitution, if you know the law, these people cannot scare you.
No, they can't. They can't. Because think about it this way, people. Why do you need that mask?
To protect from COVID-19 and the spread of...
Pause.
Sir.
Pause. How did COVID-19 get over here?
China got it here in 48 hours.
Pause. How did that happen if the country was shut down since, what, February? You telling me this magical virus, I'm not saying it doesn't exist because the flu does exist. You know, people do die from pneumonia and all that great stuff. But
And from
preconditions, yeah. But what I'm saying is by hyping this fear, we've created this boogeyman, or at least China has created this boogeyman that has literally taken people's willpower away from them.
Yes.
They're willing to fight back.
That's what it is. They've taken their power away from them to say, hey, is this what's really going on? You know, I'm an educated person, you know, done went to school, medical school, done went to study all these different laws and all this other stuff. And it's just like, even those people fall prey to that stuff. They still fall prey to fall in this fear trap, this fear-mongering trap.
Yeah, fear is the new slavery.
Oh yeah, fear is definitely the new slavery. Well, I put it this way, it's never changed. Let's be real. If you want to move anything, you
scare
induce
somebody.
Fear.
That's right.
That's what you do. You scare the hell out of them. They gonna move. But
that's the same tactics that they used back then.
Yeah.
But if people actually did some research on that, then they'll actually understand and use. The main reason why history is so important is for people to look back at it and learn from it, so they won't fall for the same mistakes.
think about it this way: a shepherd dog, how does it herd sheep? Does it ask the sheep to go into the pen? Does it say, "Hey, Mr. Sheeps, could you go into the pen real quick?"
That dog go over there and that dog get the barking.
That dog get the bark.
Hey man, y'all wanna go over there, man? You better get over here before I get the biting you.
And tail and
That's right.
And that's what the government is doing to us.
that's
right
all
now.
they doing.
Exactly.
They just that little dog want to leave. Just get over there. Get over there.
It is.
When really, I think if people understand that those people that is forcing you to be in fear, they're supposed to work for you,
For you,
not
not
you
against you.
working for them.
Yes.
They have it all the way flipped.
Yes.
They're supposed to help make your community safer, make it easier for you to your businesses to prosper. As far as if you having a family business or you just having a business on the side, you know, it shouldn't make it purposely harder for you to succeed, especially here, because you only here you can be nothing and become something.
Yeah. And people need to understand that. That goes for anybody, any shade, any background.
The American success story.
Yes.
You can be anything you want to be.
Exactly.
And if a lot of nations came to America to succeed,
Yeah.
and you still have people trying to jump the border to come to America to succeed.
Exactly.
Like people are literally dying to get in here.
They will die just to get to this land. Do you understand how important that is to a lot of people?
But see, the thing is, people that live in America don't understand that.
No.
They don't, because a lot of
Because they're stuck in this bubble. They think
Yes.
that this is their world. This little corner, this 4x4 corner that they live at.
African
is their
history.
world.
Right.
And African history is their
Right.
dreamland that they're going to.
Right.
And it's just like, but you don't even know the vast history in this one
You
land
don't
you
even
live on.
understand what's going on over there right now, because me and Temuco had a nice long, at least a good 30, 45-minute conversation before anything today. And he dropped some gems on me about a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. So you might want to do your own research and understand what's going on over anywhere. And I don't care, I'm not just talking about that spot. Anywhere before you just end up moving there and relocating and just trying to do something over because America is too hard and it's scary and racism and all that stuff. If you choose to let that control you, then it will control you.
It'll
Yeah.
become
I don't believe in that stuff. I used to, but I don't believe in that stuff anymore because I've met a lot of people that look like me, and I'm gonna tell you a secret. Some of them are good, some of them are very shitty.
Very, very.
But the thing that people don't realize is the rights that we have as Americans, not as Black American, not as white American.
You're
It's
just
just
American,
American,
no
just
hue,
American, yeah.
no skin color.
Right.
Yeah.
So these rights that you have here, many people don't understand that many countries don't have those rights.
Let me
Yes,
ask you.
exactly.
Let me ask you a question though. So if I left America today and I went to your home country, would I have those same rights?
Nope.
It'll
What-
be completely different,
It'll be different for
because you gotta understand, governments are not all the same.
Yep.
Constitutions are not all the same.
Yep.
If you go to Africa, you're in a situation where a lot of people are complaining about racism, slavery, and stuff like that. Keep in mind, my country just got its independence from the European nation in 1980.
80.
I was born 8 years later.
I was born 6 years later.
My parents were still in that time frame where it was separated between white bathrooms and black bathrooms.
So they literally live what your parents and other people's parents talked about, saying that they experienced it. Although, let's be real, have your parents experienced it?
So that's a deep conversation because it just depends on which family member you're talking to. If you talk to my father, he'd say, "Yeah, I've seen slavery before." Because people used to walk down to the station and they used to walk to this bus station and they used to go to the plantation. I said, "Well, Daddy."
Sound like a job.
I said, "So, Daddy, they have public transportation?" Number one. Number two, was the whole family going there, or was it just certain members of the family? Or just be like a couple members, like a man and a boy? Well, Daddy, if the whole entire family was slaves, how come the whole entire family didn't have to go down there and pay off the debt? How come the daddy and the son just doing it? What happened to the mom and the daughters?
Hello.
Why everybody's not down there paying off this debt? Because you're one family. You're one unit.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it. I said, Daddy, I think them people was going to work. No, they were slaves. Did they get paid? Yeah, they got paid. Well, I think they employees. I don't think they, bruh. If I had a slave,
I'm not paying you anything.
if I had a slave, bruh, you gonna do what I need you to do. I never had one. Let me just go and put that out there, okay? But if I need some shit done, I'm gonna need my stuff done. It just, you just gonna get it done and that's it. You're gonna get enough to exist or survive.
No, but if you're a slave going to work voluntarily, you're walking to work.
You're walking to the bus stop to get public transportation to take you to your plantation.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You ever heard of a CBA?
Ooh. Hold on, wait.
People what CBA.
Wait a minute. Slow down, Jesus. You gonna hurt some feelings with this.
Hey, we talking about, we want to bring up the slave thought theory, whatever you want to call it, whatever they want to label this as, because I can tell you right now, name a person who works 9 to 5 and don't call themselves working slavery hours.
So, in my personal opinion, jobs or employment is a new way of slavery, right?
Yeah.
A changed way, okay?
Yeah.
We know there's forms of slavery still going on right now. Right?
Trafficking and stuff, yeah.
It's more like a wage slavery right now.
Yeah, it's a wage slavery.
Because right now, I don't think people understand that, what you get paid. I mean, that's, as Mr. T says, that's how much you is worth.
That's what you consented to.
That's what you consent to. So, like, if you consent to $12 an hour,
that's how much you think your life's worth.
To go clean up after people.
Exactly.
That's what you consented to. Genuinely.
Yeah, and it's really just messed up, and I don't think really people understand it. But I think if more Americans, get the financial education that they need to, and even business education that they need, and just you don't really have to necessarily go to school per se. Just talk with people that have that experience, and just grow from there. I'm telling you, if you just talk to different people, you'll learn so many different things that you've never, learned or heard before in your life, or even heard from your family.
It's true, because a lot of stuff that gets passed around, it's he say, she say until you get the real source, and then you're like, oh,
that's really what it is.
That's really what happened. Because a lot of stories get passed around, especially nowadays, especially with shootings, with the police officers and individuals who get unfortunately shot or what have you. Not all of that is just black and white, but see how they play it to make you react in a black and white situation. When, let's take for example the situation that happened in Atlanta with the police officer and the young man at the Wendy's. I watched the whole entire video.
Body cam footage.
Body cam, 2 body cams, both body cams, and this was literally within the same week of this incident happening.
Roughly 72 hours. Roughly 3 days.
I'm telling you guys now, the media is using y'all. They are using y'all and y'all emotions to get the reaction that they want from you.
And that's how they make money.
And that's how they make money, because when you look at that video, I mean, look at the entire video. It's long, but you look at that video, there is not one wrong thing those guys did in that situation.
In regards to the police officers.
Yes, in regards to the police officers, they did everything correct. They did everything right. They were even courteous. They were nice. They even gave the man every opportunity to be straight up and honest with them about what's going on. Didn't even raise the voice. Didn't even give him a hard time. Just kind of was just like, hey man, we know you kind of messed up. We just want to make sure you're not going to get anybody else hurt or get yourself hurt. I don't know why the guy felt like he had to
do what he did at the end.
But when stuff like that happens, police only have split seconds to respond. That's just like the military. We only have split seconds to respond. If I was to tell y'all how many situations have happened where unfortunate shots have been fired, you'd freaking lose your mind. I'm just being so real, because people need to understand that accidents happen. Situations aren't always going to be as easy to go in as they are to come out, and you need to know the whole details of a situation before you make your own decisions on what happened, because you weren't there. None of us were there. But if we see the evidence of what happened at that time, you get the key witnesses. I put it this way: the girl who burned down the Wendy's, guess what? They found her. They found her. They boom, there she is. Got her.
Throughout this whole entire situation, I didn't mean to cut you off. Through this whole entire situation, I think the main problem is that people are okay with getting their information from the news, CNN, MSNBC, and all these other local spots or whatever, but they don't understand this biased information.
Yeah.
It's biased information. But if you go look at the police body cam footage for yourself, we highly recommend you to go do that, at least for the Atlanta situation, every situation, because if you saw this, I don't agree with everything that took place. I wish the gentleman was still here with us, right?
Yeah.
But when the police officer pulled up on the scene, if you saw what the customers of Wendy's had to do to get around the gentleman, because the gentleman was asleep inside the drive-thru.
Literally.
He was asleep in the drive-thru, and the car was cocked in the drive-thru. And the officer went up to him and said, "Hey man, you're a little messed up, man. I need you to move over here." And he said, "All right." And the officer closed the door, and the officer waited, and the guy didn't move. So he went back to the car, and he said, "Well, darn, the guy done went to sleep again." And he told him, he said, "Hey man, you stuck right here in the middle. I just need you to move to the side, and if you can move to the side." And I don't see anything the officer did wrong.
No.
Because you got to watch the whole entire body cam footage, and it gets very weird, because me personally, I think that gentleman was drugged. Because there's not enough alcohol to get you that messed up that he was messed up. And see, if he was that saucy, he would have been that saucy from the beginning of the video to the end of the video.
Yeah.
But bruh, after about 25, 30 minutes, bruh, cuz started coming back. He started coming back. Like, he started shaking whatever was on him.
Yeah.
So if we just stop trusting, the media and just go find information for ourselves, we won't be as emotionally involved with these things as we are.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but it goes back. Like, think about, before I go into what I was about to say, let's not forget that police officers are human too.
Yeah, exactly.
They got families, they got
mothers,
wives,
they got
kids,
wives.
mothers, fathers that they need to go home to.
Yeah.
So in a situation where you gotta protect yourself to protect your life, you have a split second decision to either that is it your life that's gonna be taken or
is
the
it
other
only
person's
that
life.
Exactly.
And with the whole censorship with the media, think about it. What does the Willie Lynch letter say about division?
Divided. What is it?
United we stand, divided we fall.
Right. So if you divide, what we're trying to build is going to fall.
Exactly.
So
guaranteed to fall.
If we're trying to empower the America, I call the different communities because with the white community, the black community, the same way we got the Georgia State, we got Texas, they make America. So all the races in America are communities that make up America.
Exactly.
So if you divide us, we're not going to become the great America that everybody wants to come to.
Right.
Exactly.
So for that to stop, we got to divide them and they fall. Once they fall, there's no more that American dream that everybody's fighting for.
Yeah,
right.
Which is so interesting that you mentioned that, because just like all these other dynasties, all these other basically empires all fell the same way. The people got divided, whether it was something to deal with religion or not, or something else, and the people got divided. And normally, majority of the time, it happened internally. It was never really outside. Not saying that it didn't, contribute to it. But majority of the time, it normally starts on the inside, and that's when it just works its way out, and that's when that's done data.
Kind of like the Trojan horse.
Yes.
Exactly. A Trojan horse.
From outside, getting inside.
Isn't it right? And just to let people know, that is how a virus makes it spread through your body. It's a Trojan horse. It hides amongst your good, healthy cells. And it says, I'm just like one of you. And then it latches onto another one and it breaks that one apart and they spread out to more viruses all over your body. And now your body's having a hard time figuring out which one's a good cell and which one's a bad cell. So unless your body naturally fights it off, meaning your own body just says, all right, we're tired of this, we're uniting together and we're kicking this virus out of here, then they're going to fight it off. But if it doesn't, guess what happens to the body? It dies. And it don't come back.
Yeah, and the brain's number one mission is to keep the body alive, so
yes,
it will do anything and everything to make sure
that it survives.
Yeah.
It'll cut his own leg off if it meant for survival.
That's why you see people fighting President Trump now.
Yeah.
He's trying to get us back to that American dream, that make America great again, that the whole world sees America as. It's not talking about making America great again to go back in the past, how the media or the left is trying to make it sound, but making it great to where we got people that are wanting to come to a country to prosper, to leave that dream. That same thing with that Jay-Z song, the New York song.
Oh yeah,
it makes New York larger than life.
Exactly.
That's what America is, larger than life. You can make it, and
no matter where you come from.
Exactly. Yeah. So why divide in a place in the utopia
that you should be uniting the most at?
Exactly.
So, that's what we try to bring. We try to bring some positivity, some unification, some uniting. I know we got a lot of things going on, especially with the whole Africa and everything. But understand this, people, we are all one race. We are all the human race. We all live on the same mud ball together, and we all try to strive for the same exact things in life that everybody else wants to. Which is, what now? There's 3 of them. What are they?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Damn right. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if we keep those focused, I think we can all come out on top. So, you guys got any other thing? I know we've been talking for a little bit, but
I just want to mention just one more thing. It's very interesting that the media only want to show snippets of certain events that happened, maybe months ago.
Kendrick Lamar told y'all about that.
Heck, even maybe a few weeks ago, just to get a reaction out of people, out of their audiences, and doesn't give you the full story. That's not what a news organization should do. I mean, if anything, if that's what you want to do, then you should call yourself what it is. You're an opinion station.
You're an opinion station. You're an editing station.
That's your opinion.
You need to be paying somebody for their opinion talks.
But good news doesn't make money.
Exactly. Good news don't make money.
Controversy. And what's on everybody's? What's the first thing everybody talks about? Donald Trump. That's controversy, but it's not. If you look at the man's actions and stop listening to race and all this other stuff, you'll see a different reality. Is all I'm saying.
It's a lot different because there's a lot more positive than there is negative. A lot of people have a problem with his speech and how he talks and how he comes across, and it's just like, well, have you never gotten into an argument with anybody? Have you never, gotten into a verbal discussion with anybody? Because it sounds like you lack the social skills to handle what he's saying. Because he's not saying anything offensive, he's not saying anything that's hurtful, and he's not targeting anybody. Now, when you come at him with something, like if you purposely come at him to attack him or lash out at him, I mean, just like anybody else,
you gonna get it.
I'm gonna give you.
You gonna get it.
I'm gonna give you.
You gonna get it.
He's just talking as a frustrated American.
Yeah, he is just as frustrated as the rest of us. It's we got better stuff we could be doing right now instead of focusing on what he said on Twitter.
Right.
Really? I don't care what the hell he says on Twitter. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says on Twitter.
But I do like that agreement he signed for the HBCUs because HBCUs have to go and beg for money every year. But he signed a deal where for the next 10 years you have the funding that you need.
Yeah, you don't have to come back for another 10 years.
Right. So it's like, but they have to go back and beg every year. Not, you know, I'm not trying to take no jabs, but you know, Obama and Biden had 8 years and they didn't do it.
And the Democrats.
The House and the Senate. Come on, man. You got to look at certain actions, and that's just HBCUs. Yeah. And we know some people out there have been to a HBCU. Mm-hmm. If you have kids or anybody going there, just understand for the next 10 years, they're going to have all the funding they need thanks to Donald Trump.
Yes.
President Donald Trump.
Yep. And let's just be real about I'm sorry, Mr.
Go for it. Go
ahead.
But yes, I'm sorry. But I just want to just be real for a second. It's just really interesting that they want to go ahead and place the blame on a person that just literally just got there like 4 years ago now.
4 years ago.
And you know, there's a lot of people that are in certain positions that have been in those same positions or happen to move up in certain positions that have been in those positions for a very long time. Like I'm talking about decades. I mean, even involved in their families. Jesus. And it's really, you know, alarming because, you know, it's just really, when you kind of look back and just see all the things that they had passed and all the things that wasn't passed and even when certain parties taking over both the House and the Senate, but they chose not to do anything, but keep saying, oh yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they never do it. Honestly, then they shouldn't really be there. That's just my opinion, because why should we keep the same people that chose not to help us? You know?
But that's something that we're going to have to tackle the next time, because right now the big thing is about getting the black vote. And if it's about the black vote, why is it Biden, he wants to run for president, now coming asking for a black vote? But when you're in office with a black president, and a cabinet that was in favor to your party, which is apparently the party for the people,
supposedly.
But we never had anything that benefited the black community.
Let's be real.
You know what they gave you? They gave you track phones and they gave you mandated Obamacare. Yeah, that's what they gave you.
Obamacare.
Let's go down.
So we can go down that route. No. If you want to finish off on something, I'd say talk about the universal health care. Because people don't have a true understanding of universal health care, and they look at our system and what we can't do, and they say, well, Americans have universal health care, but if you look at our hospitals, compare our hospitals and our system to other countries. So if you can build on that.
Yeah, a lot of countries that do have universal health care, like I've heard from different people that come from different places that when they are on universal health care, they set up an appointment, right? But they don't even get seen in months. Nope. You know, if there's nothing really truly wrong with you, you was put on the back burner. I mean,
way back.
And it's really just alarming. But I don't think people understand that, you know, here you can go, you know, get up and go to the hospital when you want to. You know, you can get gas when you want to. You can go to a convenience store and get some ice cream, like different variety of ice creams. And I don't care what you like. But you can grab it from the store and get what you want. In certain places, you don't have that same luxury. In certain places, there are people that wait days
for gas.
For gas.
Gasoline.
Just for gas.
You're talking about gas?
Yes.
Just gasoline.
Just for countries that people are lining up for weeks. For weeks.
To get gasoline.
To get gas.
Bruh.
Wow.
And in some of those countries, they actually produce.
They actually produce the actual gas, but they wow.
They just can't refine it. They can't.
It can't be okay.
Let's talk about free enterprise, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, go deep in that one.
Yes. But I think people just don't have an understanding of. People don't talk to people on other continents and say, "Hey, how's your universal health care going?" Yeah. If they had the opportunity to do that, and they could see that it's not as good as they make it seem, then you wouldn't keep talking about that. Really, is what it is.
I'll tell you this: Canadians claim that they have universal health care, But they ass still come to America.
No, so let me tell you something about Canada, right?
What's up?
Go ahead.
So I have a friend in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say a name.
No names needed.
So this friend had a baby,
Okay.
right?
Congratulations.
Free healthcare. So you got.
Oh, she had it for the healthcare.
So
okay.
you
got people like that out there.
you gotta take time off work to raise your baby because you're a single parent.
Right.
But what they don't mention is with that free healthcare, does not come with bills being paid. Does not come with buying food for the baby, clothes for the baby. So we took care about your medical, but we don't care how you're gonna survive.
Lord.
Hospital. So now,
Oh man.
you're
that's
out of work because
terrible.
you gotta take care of a baby, which in Canada I think it's about 6 months to a year before you can get back to work.
Lord.
So what are you doing for that time frame? And
How are you getting paid?
They
So
probably
so-
put them on. They probably put them on government subsidies.
Like a fixed
But-
income?
Yeah.
it's backed up because
Oh, I bet it is.
a lot of people are on that because they're taking in immigrants.
That's
that-
the new welfare checks.
The world. So now you got people that
They
are
wanted
in
to
the
introduce
country
that
that
here.
pay taxes towards
They
that.
already doing that right now.
And then you got people that are coming from different countries. Not saying I'm an immigrant, but not taking away to where people who came in the right way
Right.
Yeah.
that need it now because they've contributed to society to be part of that society. But you're
Exactly.
taking that away. Now they're struggling, but you're giving someone who some people may claim were coming from a country that's trying to kill us or stuff like that.
Trying to oppress you and take out
Exactly,
your freedom.
but sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes it's for selfish reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know that when people claim, and this is for everybody if you don't know, if you claim sanctuary or fear for your life from some other country, you don't go to whatever country you want to go to. You go to the
There's
nearest
steps.
adjacent country. You do not go. You don't get to hop, skip, and jump the islands and lands and other waters.
No.
It's like no. It's just everybody is using this international rule or whatever you want to call it to justify